Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nocta and this is Disco Elysium. So, let's continue our little investigation, shall we? Ooh, nice. What's that? What's there? That's a pipe. Maybe that's the entrance?
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the felled building?
Looks like one, not gonna lie.
A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access.
Come closer and look in.
Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
What's in there?
A thin layer of snow gleams inside the pipe.
Okay, what else?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side.
And?
And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Could we get into the third building through this pipe, Kim?
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around.
The lieutenant pushes aside the reeds and looks around.
And it's right here, a maintenance door.
He points to a rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe, obscured by the reeds. Let's try to pull the door apart.
You and the lieutenant lean all your weight into pushing the doors apart, but you're not quite synchronizing your efforts. They slam shut again before you can enter.
Let's take a breather and try this again later. It's very tough.
Okay, we can try later. I'm gonna check out the ladder. Actually, I wanna check the traps first. I wonder if there's anything at the... Yeah, this one.
There's nothing else to do with the traps. The dome-shaped plastic buoy bobs up and down in the water amidst the trembling reeds. The ajar latch still exhibits the emptiness within.
Yeah, lucky is still here. A little longer and it would have floated away.
We still got here too late. There's nothing of use here anymore.
Yeah, that is true. But don't be so negative, Kim.
There's nothing else to do with the traps.
Okay, so all of them have that line. Oh, Kim, wanted to ask you about this wall.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters from them. A single person stands on the sideline.
Kim, who was who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces.
Yeah, both are valid options.
Remember what Trent Heidelstein said about Veld?
What if it was the third personnel when their assets were being seized by the revolutionaries?
Another likely scenario.
The lieutenant nods.
Or maybe...
What about people from the coalition, the so-called moralists?
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Okay, goodbye, Wall.
Cold sea wind blows away the figures. Behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of Feld Electric, now collapsed and dead, but for some rats. You feel drawn, for some reason, to the faded mural again.
Okay, that's odd. That's very odd. Okay, so I'm drawn here again. Never mind, I'm not. The game is lying to me. Gonna save and attempt to climb.
A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Assess the situation.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground? And you're 180?
180 seems about right.
Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, what if you were to do something more subtle?
Like what?
What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder? Astral projection. Be open-minded about this.
What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport?
Teleportation is not a thing.
The lieutenant stares at you, stone-faced.
Even if it isn't, no one told you.
Come on, Kim, where's your adventurous spirit?
This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here.
It won't hurt to try.
Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with you right now.
Let's teleport to the roof.
All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is...
Do it.
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
I did, Kim. I teleported. Nah, I was just standing here like this, like a summer master.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
That's good enough.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear,
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring with a backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Kim, you can trust me. I know what I'm doing. The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery fire. Great. Okay. I don't think Ruby would try to hurt me. She seems to be scared. Based on what I heard at least. Postcard. The glass is covered with grime and dust, you can barely see out. These collapses nearly seal the basement, one can barely squeeze by. Antiquated office furniture, last century maybe? Brought down and forgotten so long ago. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something.
2 rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Who's there?
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get the door open.
Okay.
It's much easier from this side. The panels on the rails slide once you dust the sand off. With the help of your partner, from the other side, the doors open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that.
You ready?
Yes. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Alright.
Not running is a great way to do that.
Old file folders in the cart. Documents silvery with mold. A series of thick, dusty panes of glass. Just some kind of suit jacket, don't care much. In the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Revolutionary's hat! Alright. Stale fabric smells and dust. No one slept here in months, maybe years. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flyers and brochures. The same slit window you saw from the outside.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spiderweb in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Brush the dust off the portrait.
Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains stick into the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Look him, it's Comrade Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
A long time ago? How long?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
He looks around.
I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
What's with all these secret weapon caches and secret bunkers?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Maybe I should move in here? Seems cozy.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Could it be connected to the Mazov boss we found in the students' room?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Could someone have stopped through here recently?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
He looks at the dust. Yeah, I think he's right.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of.
Let's peek out.
Outside the window, the day is clear, and as mild as can be in early spring.
Turn to Kim. Could the killer have used this as a hideout?
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
Kim, I can't see the whirling rags. The shot didn't come from here.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker.
He looks
After
at
you,
exit.
officer.
First thing first, I need to put on my beautiful hat, my Ushanka. And yeah, this will be good enough. An Ushanka with the Mazovian logo. A pair of deer antlers on his silvery white front. Your ears feel cuddled and cared for by the state.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
This is an Ushanka, right?
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Ushanka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
These pots and plates are full of dust and spiderwebs. Great.
The mustachioed and muttered.
Tavarish Mazov? Ooh, footprints. Bootprints in the sand. One of the souls appear more worn than the other. The tunnel collapsed. You'll have to find another way around. There's something in the air. An unnatural buzzing. It's getting louder, the buzzing sound.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Hold on, you really don't feel anything?
No, but you are the sensitive one.
It's not a quib. The situation is dangerous. He trusts your gut feeling on this.
I saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn out.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
That is true.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Everyone knows more than he's told us. Maybe we should continue working for him. We have checked the boy with Class J's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before. Do you think whatever happens will affect our cryptozoologist? How bad do you think things could get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
Maybe it will be.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
Do you think whatever happens will affect our cryptozoologist?
You mean Morel? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected. But the situation in the city will get tense for everyone.
If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologists might not be able to do their job.
We have checked the boy with Class J's documents. I want to hear her take.
Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now.
Not closely enough, you suspect, but still, good idea to visit her once more.
Everyone knows more than he's told us. Maybe we should continue working for him.
You're right. However corrupt he may be, nothing happens in Martinez without him knowing. We might have to dirty our hands, but...
In this case, we can't afford to be squeaky clean.
What do you think is waiting for us there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Oh, this might be the end game. I did not expect that. But this feels kinda like the end of the game, more and more. A concrete pipe, buried in sand and dust. Nice, some coins, some more coins. Actually, never mind, it makes no sense to have money here if this is the end.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Says the shadow figure by the machine.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, You feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways.
Okay, I'm gonna try to fight it.
That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Are you gonna kill me too?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
But Angus said you had a pale emitter.
That boy's really gotta learn to keep his trap shut. And it's not a bloody pale emitter. It doesn't emit pale. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
He gestures towards something with greater force.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break you loose.
Have you experienced the compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Holy shit.
Omettini pilves. Omettini pilves.
How did you get your hands on this thing?
I built it myself.
She knows what's her torture device.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
She studies her death ray and the law officials trapped in it. This is all great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not the cops, and of herself merely as prey.
Please, could you just turn it down so I can ask you something?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
You're looking for a deal with my mattress.
I'm very fascinated by the sounds. I love them.
Damn this!
The lieutenant clutches his head, grimacing.
God damn it.
She regards you and Kim with sudden sympathy.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
She steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens.
The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe. Be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
How did you know we were coming?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
By hiding bullets under floorboards?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
She didn't let you out, by the way, Isabel, the washerwoman.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find to my back.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardy for one.
Preparing for the worst?
I was. Before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Did you shoot Lily?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching. Though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you.
Oh, it does.
So she says she didn't do it, and she doesn't trust you. Is it you specifically, or the citizens' militia that she distrusts?
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
You are right, Clasher was the first to share her suspicions.
Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Your first guess wasn't entirely off. Your own boys told us you were on the coast. Your own boys told us.
My boys?
Yeah, the ones you poached from Titus, and Titus himself. Ruby boys, the Hardy boys.
What? I don't even understand what you're trying to get at here. Oh, doesn't even matter. How could they be my boys when they're not even my friends? Those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like.
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Wait, wasn't it you who called me the human can opener? It's not personal, I open them up. I do it by asking questions, and I have some for you. Honestly, I don't know how I do it. I just stumbled in here, can you please explain this shit to me?
What shit? I told you I didn't do it. Sounds pretty simple to me.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
Would you say that Lely was a likable person?
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
Did you feel protective of the Union?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate him, okay?
You don't feel sympathy for mercs? It's hard work.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do.
That is true. I have other questions.
I'm listening.
Do you have an alibi for when Lily was shot?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me.
There were 10 minutes they couldn't account for. There was half an hour missing, you went out. They did say you left to take a really long break, 15 minutes. There were like 10 minutes, I think.
You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time.
No one takes a 15-minute leak.
Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Did you leave any flowers for Class J on the roof?
No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style.
These weren't just flowers, they symbols of revolution.
So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around? Come on.
But Class J was mourning.
I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hothouse's worth of flowers has to die too.
Okay, so you didn't leave Mabel's.
No, I did not.
Thank you. You have a gun.
And?
Where did you get it?
The gun store.
What gun store?
Trigger Happy Jacks.
Really? Trigger?
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal.
I see it's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere?
Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
I can't quite tell. What kind of gun is it?
A Noctway 80 front loader. Two-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't it.
That Merc was probably shot from a distance with a military-grade rifle. Otherwise, everyone at the whirling would have heard the shot downstairs.
Yeah. Do you collect guns, maybe old rifles?
No, they're not practical. Break too often.
There's other evidence I want to ask you about.
Yeah. Evidence.
You're running drugs for the Union. I've been through your lorry.
So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her.
No, he didn't. I found my home vein.
Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking?
A bitter smile.
Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her.
You had a financial incentive to kill the Merc.
Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the Union.
The lieutenant is unable to articulate his question.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for. You might be able to find this out later.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
He turns the knob down just a millimeter. But you are threatening us with it.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
He responds, holding your gaze. Okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
Who killed the Merc if it wasn't you?
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity. She's refusing to adopt the demeanor of a cornered animal, a leader with no one to lead. She still wants to retain some control of the situation.
It's okay. We just want to...
He struggles to finish the sentence.
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Wait, did she also seem high to you?
Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
Class just said you knew something was wrong immediately.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The Merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
How did you manage to come up with a plan so quickly?
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
What? Her idea?
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys.
She lied to you about that, too.
Shower head? Resourceful.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Do you think she killed Lily herself?
As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want the guilt.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
If you didn't kill him, why hide?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
What do you mean, La Puta Madre agent?
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Who's everyone? How do you know this?
Everyone in Jamrock. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
Okay, that's odd.
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Fuck yeah, I'm a La Puta Madre agent, you better let me go. La Puta Madre, I heard of La Puta Madre, he's dangerous, right? Tell me, what's my name? If you know that about me, you must know my name.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to La Puta Madre.
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the tape. Criminals make up bogeyman stories about cops all the time. All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you.
La Puta Madre, I've heard of La Puta Madre. He's dangerous, right?
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both.
No, that was a real question. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to know all about this, but I lost my memory recently.
Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
What did you do to this Madre anyway?
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
I thought we had an agreement, she thinks. This was not supposed to happen. She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat. Wait, one thing, possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
When I came into town, was there anyone with me?
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway?
What? I had a whole squad. I don't know what happened to them.
Sure you do. I bet they're just outside waiting. I guess I'll take my chances.
Who was in this squad?
Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had two guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either.
What? What else can you tell me?
One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. All were carrying. That sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Literally. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We could either take a room here in the whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstein. He can give us a ride.
I think I know them, Jerry Martinez. Yeah, that's right. I was just testing you. They are right outside with guns. I think I know them, Jerry Martinez.
Friction. Lock. Set.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. Unless you have anything pressing to ask me.
Do you know about the bunker next door?
What bunker?
The communist hideout back there?
Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Your voice trails off into white noise in your head. It feels like an aneurysm approaching.
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer.
Okay, let's do this. Nice.
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
See them fireworks, Kim?
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh no. No. Let's convince her.
She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options.
What options?
You know.
Please. Just walk away. Maybe I can still talk her out.
This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives.
Please, just walk away.
She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Gratitude, doubt. She's still ready to go. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
You don't have to do this. You are not cornered. I'm letting you go.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Good call.
The lieutenant is still unsteady on his feet. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated.
He couldn't take it like you. It irks him. Then he gets over it.
I think she didn't do it.
Her tent. We should check it out.
He points to the back of the cavern. Okay. I can't believe this. Ruby is not dead. Dark water trails into the distance. There is no way out. Oh nice, some health. Cooking utensils. She has prepared herself porridge with bananas. Nice, lots of money.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out.
Let's look
The
inside.
tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes.
Shine your flashlight on the books.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
The lieutenant peeks in over your shoulder. Let's sift through them.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine. It's a leather notebook.
A notebook.
You pocket the worn brown leather journal a trusted friend left behind.
We should read this immediately. Like, right now.
Okay, Kim, if you are this impatient, then sure. Oh,
The
here's this
library
too.
cut Billy is a
You will check these.
thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Let's examine the cover.
It's made of full grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously.
Let's unwind the strap.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Let's try the handwriting first.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Let's flip through the pages.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
What kind of logistics?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
What are the diagrams of?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Anything personal?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues. Always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal.
How far back do the entries go?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
Let's see what did she write the day Lely died.
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it.
Anything about La Puta Madre?
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
Let's see Marsh lines first.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake.
Am I sure this is a mistake? Look at me.
Whatever you may look like, you don't feel like a hired assassin.
Read the entry from March 12th.
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. The call was a courtesy. He must have held her in high regard to personally tell her he knew about her plan to run drugs for the competition.
What's the most recent entry? Get the
The
cover
thick
again.
journal bound in.
Never mind.
The
Almost
most
recent.
recent entry is from today. It reads, "Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder. On top of that, forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning."
It looks like she might have been framed.
The lieutenant test on the page.
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
If she didn't do it, then maybe it's good that we didn't catch her. Kim, am I really a Laputa mother agent?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so trusting.
If she didn't do it, then maybe it's good that we didn't catch her.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her.
He frowns.
Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than Weda's. Especially if she has problems with the Madre.
Then, who do you think killed the Merc?
Could have been Titus. Then again,
He pauses to think. No one heard the shot.
maybe there's a Hardy boy we've yet to meet who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Yeah, we should. I completely agree with Kim. Did I get everything from this
The
tent?
plain red tent, it was pitted.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, that was all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll continue from here next time. I will need to ask some questions to the two people in the whirling. Bye.